Welcome to the Sunday Rune and Card reading. Thank you so much for joining me. For anyone who's new to the A to Z of Emotional Health YouTube channel, I give away a free private reading each month and also a first signed limited edition pack of the Art of Manifestation Oracle cards. So if you would like to be in that draw, it's a subscriber offer. You'll need to subscribe, press the little bell icon if you want to get notification of any of the readings that I put up, and join our subscriber email list. The link is in the information box below. Now for phone users, I have also put it into the comments along with the timestamps. So if just looking at the thumbnail you already know exactly which reading you want to tune in with, you can click on the timestamps and find your way to that reading straight away. I know some people like to sit with me and listen to the extra guidance, which today comes from these amazing crystal angels. And some people also like to sit with me while I draw the cards and the runes. But if you want to fast forward to the reading or readings, I know again some people like to tune in with more than one of the readings, you can do so just by clicking on those timestamps in either the information box or the comments. So wonderful people, let's have a look at the cards that we are going to be using this week. So these are the packs we're going to be using, plus our runes, and each of the readings will be guided by these angels, two angels. Now, in our first reading, we are guided by Tiger Eye, a Tiger Eye angel, and a Honey Calcite angel. Now, this is quite an amazing combination because Tiger Eye is a stone of protection. It's said to bring good luck to the wearer. It's very powerful. It gives us courage and sort of inner strength, helps to keep us focused, helps to keep us steady. Very amazing to carry if you're having to navigate anything that you're finding challenging. And if you sit in a meditation with Tiger Eye, you may well find that you kind of receive the guidance you need quite easily. Now, Honey Calcite is a stone of leadership. It's literally said to raise our vibration and enhance our ability to walk the pathway of the spiritual warrior. Again, it brings us honesty, courage, supports us in integrity. I've always associated Honey Calcite actually with Archangel Gabriel. Archangel Gabriel's name literally means God is my strength. He's known as the angel of revelation and communication. So this is a very powerful combination for reading number one. That's our guidance. It's all about courage, stepping up. And my goodness me, we are in an age where we are being called to step up in no uncertain terms. Now, reading number two is guided by Green Aventurine and Opalite. Green Aventurine, it's interesting, is also known as a stone of good luck. For me, it's like the ultimate nurturer. Whenever I work with Green Aventurine, I find myself almost encapsulated in like a bubble of nurture, of warmth, of healing, of self-preservation is what's actually coming through actually as I'm sitting with this. It's also said to help us to remove energy blocks. So anything that's stopping us or hindering us, whether it's a thinking pattern, any kind of emotional residue from the past. So very powerful in terms of personal inner healing. Now, Opalite is said to improve our communication skills, all aspects of communication, including our ability to kind of communicate with our angels and our guides. So I think reading number two seems to me to be really speaking about the removal of inner blocks, cleansing, releasing, allowing us to become within ourselves a channel of communication, a fluent channel of communication, enabling us to find our voice, to speak the truth, to know the truth, and to literally, again, tune into guidance sort of readily, almost. It's when I wrote the book called 7 Steps to Spiritual Empathy. That book is all about learning to listen to ourselves and understanding empathy as a spiritual pathway and a spiritual way of life, where we listen to all of life as it flows through us. We understand ourselves vibrationally. So that is reading number two, two stunning angels. I have to say the energy is very different from the first two, these two little groups of angels. Reading number two, I already feel I'm in that bubble of Green Aventurine. Lastly, reading number three A great deal of protection and safety is going on here, I think. Firstly, we have the angel of snowflake obsidian and also a white quartz angel. Now, like black obsidian, snowflake obsidian, it's a warrior stone. It brings protection and alignment. It's got a slightly softer energy than black obsidian, I think, the snowflake, but it really helps us to remain calm, to stand, you know, even if there's turmoil going on around us, we're able to remain calm, to stand our ground, and yet to kind of be solid and find peace within. I think snowflake obsidian is an extraordinary friend and ally if we are having to tackle any sense of isolation or walking an aspect of our pathway that calls us to kind of retreat. I don't mean retreat as in running away, but retreat into a space of meditation. Again, there's something very almost private about snowflake obsidian. And it's interesting because white quartz literally repels negativity. When you carry white quartz, it's said that negativity kind of like bounces off you. I often recommend people carry white quartz if they're very, very sensitive or very absorbent. If you're the kind of person that you walk into a room and if there's an argument that's gone on, you immediately feel it completely. It's like walking into an energy burst and it's too much. You're somebody who literally carries emotions sometimes for others. This will repel negativity. It will bounce off you. It will act as a shield. The combination of these two is pretty profound because there's a huge amount of personal protection taking place here. Personal protection, strength, inner guidance, an inner sense of well-being and peace, a stability that's both grounded and yet deeply spiritual simultaneously. That's really the message that's coming through these two angels that are guiding reading number 3. I think all of these readings, or all of the guidance from these collaborations, these relationships of angels, feel very relevant to our current time when there's a lot of intensity going on, a lot of duality of energy, a lot of polarity. So there's a lot of bridging of gaps. I will be uploading an energy update for January through into February. And wonderful people, please do not forget the collective prayer. We are in a current astrological build-up of energy that's going to peak in February. I will be posting more about this both on Facebook, Instagram, and of course in videos and through readings and astro energy guidance on the YouTube channel here. So do make sure that you tune into those if you are finding the intensity, whether it's personal or globally, if you're finding that intensity quite challenging, if events are causing you I don't know, distress or disturbance, do tune in, because there's a lot of guidance available to us, and I will be reaching out and asking as many people to join me in the collective prayer for 2021. There are 3 very key dates, periods of intensity. There's going to be a build up to them, and we're already in the build up to the first of those. So without further ado, let us continue and let us draw the cards. We will be drawing from the Archangel Michael pack, 1 card for each of the readings. We are going to be drawing from the Archangel Oracle pack as well. Again, 1 card for each. We are then going to be tuning in with, these are relationship angel cards actually, so it'll be interesting to see how these emerge, but I'm called to use these as well. Again, 1 for each of the readings. We are going to use the Art of Manifestation cards, again, 1 for each. And then the Light Seers Tarot. Now we're going to draw 3 from the Light Seers Tarot for each of the readings. These are a stunning pack of cards. They're quite new to me. You may not have seen me use them until, I think this might be the first reading that I've publicly used them. I've been getting to know them, spending time with them, as we do when we are learning and connecting with any new pack. And lastly, but not leastly, let's bring in some runes. I'm actually just hearing one. Wow, for each, just the one for each reading. Okay, so wonderful people, if you already know which reading or readings you are connecting in with, fast forward, the timings are in the comments and in the information box. If you are not sure, you may want to pause the video and just spend a little bit of time tuning in. I know for some people it becomes very clear when we're just talking about the additional guidance, and I know for many people it's often more than one reading that is speaking to them. If you wish to pause the video, please do so. Otherwise, wonderful people, thank you so much for liking, for sharing, for subscribing, and thank you if you are considering joining me in the collective prayer for 2021. This prayer is going to happen 3 times during the year when we hit some peak astrological intensity periods, and as I said, I will be uploading videos, posts and all sorts of things just to, and if you're on any of my email lists, you'll get notified as well. I'll send out email reminders too. This is a year of powerful transformation, so it can be a little bit challenging, but also incredibly worthwhile as well. Wonderful people, so much love to you. I will see you in the readings. Namaste. Welcome to reading number 1. Let's first of all look at our runes. So we have the rune of growth, Berkana. Now the rune of growth of Berkana is symbolized by the birch tree. It often speaks of new beginnings. It's about the blossoming and ripening of something flowing into its new form, something emerging, a new phase of life. So very interesting that we have tiger eye and honey calcite. Tiger eye bringing good luck to the wearer, also protection, and we have honey calcite, a stone of leadership, and the energy of these angels and the messages that come with them. It's very much about stepping up, walking a very strong pathway, also very much a presence of Archangel Gabriel, which I always tune into with honey calcite, whose name means God is my strength. So there's something emerging for you guys here. Wow, very powerful card from Archangel Michael. It's time to leave this unhealthy situation. That is very powerful. Quite interesting. I have on occasions in my own life drawn this card. It's one of the most direct messages you can get. Archangel Michael, there is a prayer here. Archangel Michael, what parts of my life do I need to focus on more closely right now? Thank you for helping me hear your answers and for giving me the courage to make healthy changes in my life. This is a very powerful card to draw. Super people, very powerful indeed. Indigo and crystal children. Archangel Metatron, you have a bond with children. In particular, you can help children who are sensitive. I need to say that sometimes when we draw this card, it's actually an indication that it's actually you we're talking about. It's the person who the reading is for. I think sometimes it may be that you are an indigo child, you are a crystal child, you actually are deeply sensitive, you see the world in a different way, and it may be you are involved or have been involved in some kind of relationship that says, you know, you need to pay attention. Here we are, pay attention to the red flags. The signs are cautioning you. There's something taking place around you, and I think you guys are needing to potentially step up and away from it in order to move forwards. Now, the rune of Berkana, let's see what other cards. We have the card Bless Your Past. This is about moving on from something. And the Light Seer cards, what do we have? 9 of Pentacles, the Sun, and Page of Pentacles. These are such powerful cards in terms of the potential for a new beginning, the potential for something that you have been building to manifest. And yet there is some energy, some aspect of someone or something around you that is currently, I would venture to say, holding you back. Bear with me, I'm just going to sort of slightly rearrange things. I'm going to bring these angels down here. And I'm going to place our rune over here, and I'm going to see if I can zoom into the cards a little bit more so that you guys can perhaps see them a little more closely. I may actually have to move the camera and move the cards a little bit. That should be working, I hope, a little bit better. So you should get a really clear view of that. And my apologies if there's any kind of light coming off them. I may be able to alter that by switching another light on. Let me place those there. And I'm just going to pause the video and adjust the lighting. Bear with me. Okay, I hope that's a little bit better for you guys so that you can see a little more clearly. Now, this is a reading of rebirth, ultimately. If we think about the rune of growth, this is a growth of blossoming, of fertility, of the potential for a whole new phase of life. Now, there is some aspect of your world that you're really being asked to listen to, because it's actually time to move forwards. You're needing to step up. Protection is being offered to you, guidance is being offered to you, but there's something about stepping up and becoming your own hero, your own heroine. You're needing to pay attention. There's something, for some of you, I think you will know exactly what the situation or the person or the circumstances that you need to leave. It's really, really clear to you already. For others, I think you're in this sort of space of indecision. I think you know that something's going on that doesn't feel right. And yet, at the same time, it's almost as though, I don't know if you're sort of like holding out hope that someone will shift or come round, or that someone will kind of behave better, that there's something going on around you. For some of you, it's very clear, and you know what you need to do. For others, it's almost as though you're still holding on to something. Now, I think this Bless Your Past is a really important card here, because I think there's a message very clearly coming through with this. Now, Bless Your Past, it says a useful tool to help us let go of any emotional residue that's still clinging to us from a past experience is to bless your past. Whenever the memory of an event or person comes to mind, pause and say to yourself, I bless every aspect of my past, and I celebrate the contribution that it gave me in becoming the person that I am today. The message that's coming through with this card is that sometimes if we have had a challenging situation from the past, or a somebody or a something that was not healthy, it almost leaves us with a kind of blind spot. It's as though, even though we kind of knew that something wasn't okay, it's almost as if the message that's really coming through, again, it's that this is the pay attention to the red flags as well. It's that it's almost that the unacceptable was the norm, and it leaves an essence of self-doubt. So even when we face something and we know it's not okay and we should move forwards, a part of us doubts that, a part of us questions, especially if you're dealing with someone who's a little bit manipulative, or even a lot manipulative. It's kind of like it leaves some residue of self-doubt that leaves you feeling as though somehow it's not okay to make that call, it's not okay to stand your ground. There's something of that around. The angel guidance around you, the protection, is very strong and very powerful. This top layer is speaking about something that's taking place that you need to give your full attention to. But there's so much potential in the bottom row of cards. Really, the Nine of Pentacles. I mean, wow, guys. And the Sun and the Page of Pentacles. This is like hugely positive. It's kind of like something you have been working at or working for is just about to burst into fruition. Yes, work is needed, but there is light, there's laughter, there's life, there's vitality available to you for this new beginning. And this isn't just a random new beginning. This is something you've worked really, really hard for. I have to say, I think for some of you, there is someone who's kind of clinging to you a little bit. Maybe somebody who wants to ride on the back of your success. They're not really going to work hard at this. They're not really going to give their all. They're kind of clinging because they can see you're going somewhere. And so they're kind of jumping on the bandwagon of you. There's something going on around that for some of you. And there's a need to actually kind of sever that tie, walk away. You don't need somebody who's clinging on to you. As an acutely sensitive person, I think you can be drawn into a situation where you feel so much compassion for people that you kind of almost, again, you tolerate the intolerable, you accept the unacceptable. You know, it happens when people are very sensitive, they're so compassionate, but their compassion can actually be taken advantage of. Now, compassion in its purest form, if you think about the language, the word itself, compassion, it's like the French com, with passion. Compassion actually sometimes means we stand our ground passionately. We care for somebody deeply, but we also know that the kindest thing in the world to say to somebody who doesn't behave well is to say no. You know, no is an act of kindness. You wouldn't say yes to a child who was behaving badly. We would be kind enough to teach them, to guide them, to say no. And yet we don't do that with adults in our lives sometimes. So there's a very powerful transition taking place. This tunes in beautifully with the current astrology. In just a few days' time, we have a new moon. Interestingly enough, it's quite an intense new moon, significantly so actually. It's quite dynamic. Usually a new moon has quite a gentle energy. It's curious, a full moon, inevitably there is always at least one red line on the chart because the moon and the sun sit opposite each other. It's why full moons are often quite emotionally intense. A new moon often carries a gentler energy, but not for the new moon that we have coming up this week. It's quite intense. It's a pivotal turning point, and for many people it will bring an opportunity to step through and out of and away from something, to find a solution, to initiate actions, to sow seeds that move something forwards in a very significant way. I'll be posting about the new moon, so again, watch out for that. And of course, if you want to get notification of any of the posts as I upload them, if you press the subscribe button and the little bell icon as well, then you should get notifications coming through in your stream. So, wonderful people, something is happening you need to leave behind, but you are at a moment of pivotal breakthrough where actually you can move forwards. Another message coming through really clearly. For some of you, you know what this situation is. For some of you, there's something lingering. There's a vulnerability. For some of you, as I said, the vulnerability, it's rooted in your past. For others, actually, there's somebody coming into your world that's quite new. There's a situation that's relatively new to you, and you do actually need to listen to the red flags. Leave before it gets too bad. This connects in with the angel conversations I've been having during the week as well, where I was speaking with more than one person actually, and acknowledging the fact that we can ask for guidance and help before a situation becomes too difficult. And again, there's something connected to some of you where it's almost as though something isn't quite right, but you muddle along with it. You still give it your best shot, even though you fundamentally know it's probably not right for you. For some of you, there is a relatively new situation, but you are, again, you're ready for a breakthrough. This is the burst of something very new for you. That is a whole new phase of life, but you've built it. It's something that you deserve. You've worked for it. And somebody or someone or a situation is coming in around you. Energetically, they're being drawn to you because of your potential success. And actually listen to the red flags, and don't allow yourself to be governed by the sort of, it has to be really bad before I say no. Just say no. If it doesn't feel right for you, say no and move on. Don't let someone or something cling to you when you know it's not right. You can ask for guidance and help and support, and ask for what you desire. It doesn't have to be a crisis for you to get to that space. That's the conversations I've been having this week. And an acknowledgement that so many people wait until something is bad before they ask for help. It's like they've been brought up, again, a residue of the past, to believe that we can't ask for help unless we've really hit rock bottom. How about asking for help when we're in a good place? Actually, can I have some help and support because I'm in a good place and I want to bring more good stuff into the world? So it's like a real shift of perspective. Wonderful people, this is a really interesting reading. I've really enjoyed being with you. Thank you so much for joining me. I look forward to seeing you for further posts and updates. And yes, don't forget to join me for that collective prayer, because there is a lot of very intense energy building up through January and into February. So much love to you. There is so much possibility emerging in your life. Yes, don't let something or someone hold you back. This is really time for you to step up into the fullest potential and the very best version of you. The energy is with you. So much love. Namaste. Welcome to reading number 2. We've actually already zoomed the camera in reading number 1, so you can see things really clearly. Okay, so we have first of all the rune of partnership. So the energy or an aspect of partnership, of relationship, is around you. This generally connects to another person, and it often suggests there's quite quite powerful emotions involved, whether this is a business partnership or an intimate partnership. It suggests something that's connected to somebody on a one-to-one basis. Let's have a look at the cards. So Archangel Michael, make a commitment. We then have the card of clairvoyance, Archangel Raziel. I am helping your spiritual sight to awaken fully so you can clearly see heavenly love, healing family issues. Your love life benefits as you forgive your parents. Is there some aspect of family that's maybe some inherited perspective that's been holding you back in relationship? Because there's a lot of assurances here. Make a commitment, stay on course. I want to say trust your intuition, listen to your higher self. Sometimes the ego mind can I always think we can have a real mix of emotions that kind of spark off, certain thinking patterns, negative thinking patterns. Sometimes if we've been hurt or there's some block that connects to our earlier life that gets in the way, and we can tune into our capacity to receive guidance. Now remember the opalite angel, to receive guidance, to connect with our guides, to become a channel for communication. And of course Green Aventurin, such a great healer. There's an opportunity here to heal something, to make a commitment, to move beyond something, and it connects to relationships. A confirmation card again, Queen of Cups. Her energy is amazing. She knows how to listen to herself. She understands as well the difference between emotions that are part of her current guidance system, as opposed to emotions that are connected to kind of history and the residue of history. This is interesting because 5 of Wands, there's an aspect of competition around you, and also the 9 of Swords, which would suggest to me that maybe you are worrying or over worrying about something. It's really the profound message that's coming through here. I want to say, guys, it's safe for you to love. That's a really clear message coming through. It is safe for you to love. Stay on course, make a commitment, whether it's to yourself, and if you are looking to move forwards into some aspect of relationship, there's definitely relationship energy around you. For some of you, this is a personal relationship. It could be an existing relationship that is moving into a new phase of commitment, and maybe you're having a wobble. It could be an aspect of a brand new relationship. You're setting forth on a sort of a pathway of dating, a New Year's resolution perhaps to find and meet a soulmate. It could be reconnecting with somebody, taking a relationship to a higher level. It could be a business partnership, but there's an aspect of trust here, and the trust, or indeed the wobble around trust, is going back to some sort of family issue in some history. Now, the Queen of Cups, for me, she really understands the difference between emotions. Really, for me, I think emotions, when they are very present, are like a GPS or a sat-nav system. They're a guidance system. If you walk into a room and you feel something, or you're listening and you're in a conversation with something and you feel something, your emotions are there to guide you. But sometimes our emotions aren't about the present moment. They are the emotional residue of history. And if we have the emotional residue of history, we were hurt or we were treated badly or we were brought up to carry lots of self-doubt or to believe that we weren't worthy or that we weren't lovable, that kind of stuff, that emotional residue from the past can trigger kind of thinking patterns. Now, the Queen of Cups, she can tune into her higher self, connecting in with Green Aventurin. I mean, for me, this is this wonderful space of healing and nurture, listening to yourself, learning to listen to yourself. There is a need to find a voice here, but it needs to be the voice of it's the voice of the heart. That's what I'm really hearing. You're needing to listen to your heart rather than any kind of thinking patterns that stem from the past, what I call repetitive thought syndrome, where we go over and over stuff and we catastrophize. There is some essence of catastrophizing, and the Nine of Swords, I feel, is asking you, it's saying, look, are you overthinking something? Are you listening to those repetitive thinking patterns? Are you worrying about something and blowing it out of proportion? Again, this goes back to some family aspect. Don't blow it out of proportion. And tuning in, again, it's interesting, the readings are very much tuning into the angel conversations I had with people during the week. We can ask for guidance. We don't have to wait till something is difficult or reaches a crisis. We can ask for guidance with what we want. We can say, can I have some help with this, please? And we are opening that doorway to receive. I feel as though you are needing to listen to your higher self, listen to the truth of the situation. Don't let your mind guide you. Now, the Five of Wands is really interesting because it's speaking really clearly. It speaks of competition. Now, is there some kind of competition around you within relationship? Is there some, are you stepping into a competitive environment? If you are stepping into a competitive environment from a business perspective, this card is asking you to step up. It's saying, don't back down. Don't believe that you are less worthy or it won't work out. Step up. Have your voice. What you are bringing forth is very worthy of bringing forth. If you find yourself amongst some sort of business competitor in relationship, if there is a colleague around you, if your two people are going for a promotion, for example, step up, prove that you're the best for the job. This reading is saying you are. This isn't necessarily a negative card, the Five of Wands. Competition can be quite healthy. It can push us that little bit to be the best that we can be. Have a voice, speak your truth, make a commitment, stay on course. Really interesting. This card says you are facing some big stuff in your life right now. This card is a request that you keep going and stay on course, however challenging this may feel. And I do feel there is some aspect of competition or challenge around. Please be reassured that right now this is the appropriate way forwards. The universe supports your direction and slow and steady progress is assured. Don't be fazed by the competition. This reading is calling you to believe in yourself in a really positive way. And again, maybe family issues from the past that caused you to believe that you weren't entitled, you weren't worthy. There is opportunity for healing here. Listen to your heart, not those repetitive thinking patterns. Now, if this is an intimate relationship, again, stay on course, don't be fazed. And this aspect of competition here, again, I'm not sure whether how this fits with intimacy, but there's something about, maybe there was sibling rivalry in your history that caused you to feel again that you weren't worthy within relationship, that somehow, you wouldn't get the girl or the boy kind of thing, that somebody else always would be. Maybe there was a childhood rivalry. I think maybe for some of you, kind of almost seeing somebody quite needy, a needy member of your family, someone who needed a lot. I think for some, they just were a genuinely demanding, possibly a bit narcissistic individual that needed a lot within the family. And so in terms of competition, your needs were never met. And there's something of that still lingering. Actually, for others, what I hear, it's not so much, you know, it may have been there was somebody who genuinely did have quite big needs, and as a consequence there just wasn't enough to go around. You know, parents were stretched, or maybe a single parent was very, very stretched to give to one child with particular needs, and therefore you're one of those people that learned to kind of go it alone. You know, learn to be very self-reliant. Wonderful attributes, but it's time to move beyond that. It's time to let go of some aspect of thinking that has held you back. Healing is being offered to you. It does connect back to some aspect of your world that was coloured by the parenting, the style of parenting, or your parents' relationship, or another family member. There's something in there very clearly coming through, whether it's affecting your ability to move forwards and trust a business commitment within relationship, or an intimate relationship. I think for a lot of you it's to do with intimacy. But trust is at the heart, support is there, make a commitment to yourself. The prayer that comes through is lovely. Archangel Michael is the angel of courage and confidence. I call upon you to lend me your strength, allow me to commit to myself, my life and my divine purpose. Please clearly guide me so I can fully open my heart to every experience. This reading is very much a calling to your heart and to bypass any aspects of your ego mind that have got tangled in past issues. Healing is with you. Trust yourself, trust and believe in yourself. This is a lovely reading, even though I can see that there's some challenge, an energy of challenge around you. It's time to move through and beyond that. The universe has your back. We have such a powerful new moon coming up in a few days' time. I will be posting about the energy of that. It's quite an intense energy. So again, it may be, your buttons may be being pressed in terms of whatever aspect of relationship that is around you. Your buttons may be being pressed, but this is a calling to rise through that. Listen to your higher self, reach out for guidance. New moon is a perfect time for making wishes and for setting intentions and sowing seeds. And you know, this reading is very much about staying on course. It's a reading of affirmation, encouragement, validation, asking you to really trust and lean into a space of self-belief. And the more that you sit with that self-belief, and again set wishes around that, we can make wishes that align us with our higher self. We can ask for any blocks. We can make a new moon wish to wish that any blocks within us can be easily removed, easily let go of, freeing us to move forwards and embrace our full entitlement of abundance in every area of our lives, including love and including healthy relationships. So that's a very good way of perhaps approaching some new moon wishes. I will be posting, as I said, about this. If you want to get notification of any of the posts as I upload them, I'll be letting you know on Facebook, Instagram, and of course you can also, if you subscribe and press the little bell icon, you will be able to, you should get notification of those. They'll come through on your stream as soon as I upload them. So wonderful people, this is a reading of affirmation, confirmation. The universe supports your direction. Slow and steady progress is assured, and that feels important. There's something about gentle progress that allows you to stabilize your growth in a way that consolidates it and makes it really, really real. There's a strength coming through in this reading that is absolutely gorgeous. Wonderful people, so much love to you and big respect, because when we heal this kind of family stuff within us, it ensures that it's never ever passed on to anyone else, either within our own personal relationships or to the next generation. Big respect and so much love to you. Namaste. Welcome to reading number 3. Our rune is the rune of the spiritual warrior, the pathway of the spiritual warrior. Very powerful energy. This says your home is protected by angels. So is there some anxiety around you? Interesting. Your home is protected by angels. We have a card of prosperity. Your material needs are provided as you follow your intuition. We have a card of codependency that says addictions are affecting your romantic life. And we have a card of let go gracefully. This is interesting because the rune of the spiritual warrior sometimes speaks about discernment, the need to cut away the old, to make quite clear decisions, which again, fascinating when we tune into these two angels, because black obsidian is a warrior stone. It is the stone of the spiritual warrior. Snowflake obsidian is a gorgeous, gorgeous energy. It brings protection, healing, alignment, and allows us to find a calm and an inner peace when we need to make decisions and we need to walk that pathway where we sometimes also have to do something alone, go it alone in some way, whether we retreat into a space of meditation. I'm going to move these angels, move all of these up here. So first of all, let us tune into this top row of cards and have a quick look at the bottom row as well here. See what we are going to be shown here. Right, so we have 10 of Swords. Okay, I feel like you guys some of you have quite a big decision to make. You know, 10 of Swords is really interesting, but it's an important decision because you're at a turning point here. It's a significant turning point. I mean, actually, there's a celebration involved here. You are at a turning point of, it's like literally it is a new dawn. Now 10 of Swords, I know you know this is a card that's a bit of a kind of dark night of the soul, really. It means, you know, we've had to struggle, we've had to face something, we are actually having to leave something behind. It often signifies the ending, but of course it also signifies a new beginning. Now remember, if you are needing to go it alone in some way, there is also a lot of hope and promise is what I want to say being brought into this reading. Hope, promise, protection, guidance, support, love is surrounding you. Now, I think you've been through something that is really quite challenging. You're coming through and out the other side, but you've had to face something that is quite difficult. I think there was genuinely a significant threat around for some of you. It's quite curious, last week's readings, there was a message in one of them that came through. It's funny, I'm connecting in with that reading now, which was to do with it's not your fault. A card came through, it's not your fault. And that is actually being said again here. You're coming through something, you're having to leave something behind, cut away the old. But what is really interesting is you're really ready for the new. There are new horizons opening up. Knight of Swords to me, along with the Three of Wands, is really saying, look, go for it. You know, this is time for you to move forwards, grasp the new, seize the new horizons, seize the new opportunities that are coming your way. You've worked to be here. This is like a milestone. This reading really is a milestone. And you are having to make some, I want to say some tough decisions, okay? But, you know, if something in your world, and this card, maybe this card just says it all, let go gracefully. Something in your life is calling for you to let it go. Let go gracefully. Whatever has taken place in the past, it is time to move forwards, and letting go will make way for the new. Whether this is a person, a situation, an outdated thought or behavior pattern, this card comes to assure you that new horizons are waiting for you. I feel like this is a significant turning point. Now, codependency as well. Addictions are affecting your romantic life. Now, I want to just voice something that's coming through, and I'm sort of saying it with a slight chuckle actually, because I think for some of you there's been an addiction to perfection. You know, I think sometimes trying to get everything right all the time. There's something about letting go. For some of you there may well be an addiction of some sort, a substance of some sort, but for some of you there's an addiction to a thinking pattern, a feeling like you have to get it right all the time. And that actually lays you open to people who then kind of almost like assume that you will always step up, go the extra mile, and they don't cut you any slack because you don't cut you any slack. There's something taking place here. Now you are at an incredible turning point. For some of you, there is an aspect of fear and anxiety around you. You've been through something that's really quite major and you are coming out the other side. You've had to let go of something that was significantly painful. For others, the letting go is something personal, a thinking pattern as we have just acknowledged. But for others, again, it's not a substance in you, it was a substance in someone else. It was somebody else who had pretty big challenging behaviour problems. And actually I think that's quite a lot of you. I'm sort of almost being shown different segments. I think quite a lot of you have been involved in somebody else's aspect of dependency, and it's been really hard to say no. It's been really hard, and moving away, it's left you feeling really quite vulnerable. But remember, obsidian is an angel of protection. It's a stone of protection. Actually, black obsidian helps us to grieve. It helps us to move through transition. It is the stone of the spiritual warrior. And of course, white quartz, negative energy bounces off us. It is therefore, in essence, a kind of stone of protection too, but in a very specific way. They make an amazingly powerful combination. Now, you know, if you are in a space of retreat, where you are retreating for recuperation, good for you, you need to, because you are in a space where you are literally going to move forwards. New opportunities are opening for you, new doorways are opening, and you are having to make some quite big decisions. Take your time making the decisions, but at the same time, you know that strength is needed for some of you. I can see that. The prayer with this card is, Archangel Michael, thank you for watching over my home and its inhabitants. I ask that you post guardian angels at each window and door, ensuring its security. Thank you for guiding my finances so that I can easily afford to pay the rent, mortgage or taxes. And prosperity, Archangel Ariel, your material needs are provided as you follow your intuition and manifest your dreams into reality. I think for some of you there's a hesitancy in letting go of a situation because there's fear and concern financially. It's almost like, if you go it alone, will you be okay? This reading is really offering you some reassurances there and saying, look, your material needs will be provided for. Whatever you are letting go of, whether it's a someone or a something, this is very much a time of new horizons, but there is an aspect of having to make quite clear decisions here, clear-cut decisions. I think deep down you know what you need to do, but there has been a little bit of anxiety around that. For some of you, you really have been through a significantly major ordeal, but you are standing. You may not feel it, you may have quite a few wobbles around, but you are actually standing on quite solid ground here, and it's solid ground that you've worked for. You know, really big respect. This is a reading that says you have endured, you've persevered despite a significant amount of challenge, I think, for quite a lot of you, and you are now moving forwards, and it's right for you to move forwards. It's right for you to let go. It's right for you to go for whatever you need to go for. Be clear and don't hold back. It's definitely, you know, decisions are having to be made here, but yeah, you are being given protection. You are definitely being given protection as you navigate some quite significant life choices. For some of you, you've already made choices and maybe you're having a wobble. I think for quite a few of you, you're processing that. One way or the other, you are standing in a position where you are able, I mean, you're looking ahead, you know. Look at these two cards. You're looking forwards. The new dawn is coming. You know it. You know it's time to move forwards. You know it's time for new possibilities to be entering your life. It is a time when you need to make those decisions and you need to go for it. There is, yes, you've been through a lot, but you are looking forwards rather than back, and that's awesome. And you're looking forwards rather than back, and you know you need to move. You know you need to take advantage of opportunities that are coming your way. You know it's time to move forwards, it's time to grasp something. Don't worry about the letting go. It's appropriate, it's right that you do so. Guidance, protection is being offered to you. A sense of, it's like there's a bubble. I feel like there's a bubble of white light being placed around this reading. I feel like I'm sitting in it, protected and held. That's what I'm really seeing, really feeling very, very held. Interesting, I would say as well, there are people around you. It's quite curious, the temperature in this room, as I was saying, held, has just suddenly dropped. All of the hairs on my body are standing on end. There is a lot of guidance and support from those on the other side. People you have loved and lost are walking with you at this time. There is guidance, there is protection. You are being nurtured, you are being looked after. Yeah, there are many who've crossed to the other side who are very present. I can really feel that. Yeah, I really feel the temperature dropping in this room, and it's a warm room to work in, and so it's very noticeable when that happens. It often happens in private readings, actually. People come through, and I often then douse to see who we're connecting in with. But yeah, there are family members, it's very clear. Family members people you've loved and lost, grandparents particularly coming through, who are walking with you. For some of you as well, actually, interestingly enough, I think there were parental difficulties, and for some of you, maybe you were cared for by grandparents more than parents. They were significant and they've passed away, and it's been a big loss, but actually they're very present and very with you. So very powerful messages coming through. Wonderful, wonderful people. We have a powerful new moon coming through. It's quite intense. It's in a couple of days' time. I will be posting about it, and don't forget to join me for the collective prayer as well. I'll be making posts and notifications on Facebook, Instagram, and of course posting onto YouTube. If you want to get notifications as soon as I post anything, do press the subscribe button and the little bell icon. That way they should come into your stream. Now, the new moon is very powerful. It's actually quite intense, unusually intense for a new moon, but an amazing time to lean into the energy of new beginnings. So if you are having any kind of wobble in this process of letting go, do tune into the new moon energy. Do make your new moon wishes, set your intentions, sow the seeds of the new, because you are in a space where you're looking forwards now. You're no longer looking back, and that is appropriate. And there is so much support around you from those you have loved and lost. Wonderful people. Yeah, I look forward to seeing you for the posts around the new moon, and I'll be talking a lot about making those new moon wishes and intentions. So much love to you guys. Namaste.